Contrary to popular belief, the most divisive online debates often aren't driven by partisanship, but by a desire for social status and dominance. In recent years, we've witnessed a rise in online hostility, with young men driving the conversation. But what's behind this phenomenon? Research suggests that social media has created a culture of competition, where individuals are incentivized to engage in aggressive debate to assert their status. This can be linked to the psychological concept of social identity theory, which proposes that people derive a sense of self-worth from group affiliation. Young men in particular may feel pressured to project a certain image online, often at the expense of constructive dialogue. As a result, they're increasingly turning to hostile rhetoric to prove their dominance. When young men engage in moral and political discussions online, they often do so with a specific motivation in mind: to elevate themselves above others and demonstrate their superiority. This desire for dominance can be linked to a deep-seated insecurity, known as status anxiety. Research has shown that individuals who experience high levels of status anxiety are more prone to engage in behavior designed to boost their social status, even if it means resorting to aggressive or hostile tactics. For example, consider a young man who posts inflammatory comments on social media, ostensibly to express his opposition to a particular policy or ideology. However, upon closer inspection, it becomes clear that his primary goal is to provoke a reaction from others, thereby establishing himself as a bold and uncompromising leader. This behavior is often accompanied by a sense of pride and self-importance, which serves to temporarily alleviate his status anxiety. In this way, young men's involvement in hostile online politics can be seen as a means of self-validation, rather than a genuine expression of their beliefs. By recognizing the role of status anxiety in driving this behavior, we can begin to understand the underlying dynamics at play and work towards promoting a more respectful and inclusive online discourse. You might be surprised to learn that research suggests many young men who participate in aggressive online debates aren't necessarily driven by a strong commitment to their preferred ideology. In fact, studies have shown that these individuals often hold more moderate views in private conversations or when interacting with people from different backgrounds. So why do they feel the need to adopt extreme or opposing views online? One reason is that they're seeking social validation and status within their online communities. By taking on a persona that's more radical or contrarian, they're able to gain recognition and respect from their peers. This phenomenon is often referred to as identity signaling, where individuals use their online behavior to signal their allegiance to certain groups or ideologies. However, this signaling can come at the cost of genuine conviction and nuanced understanding. It's a paradoxical relationship where the desire for social status leads individuals to adopt extreme views that may not reflect their true beliefs. By examining this dynamic, we can gain a deeper understanding of why young men are drawn to hostile online discourse and how it affects their relationships and communities. The consequences of social status politics are far-reaching and multifaceted. On an individual level, hostile online discourse can lead to increased anxiety, depression, and feelings of isolation. Cyberbullying and harassment can also have severe physical and mental health repercussions. When communities become divided, social cohesion suffers and trust erodes. This can have a devastating impact on community resilience, making it harder to address real-world problems and respond to crisis situations. On a societal level, the proliferation of hostile online discourse can lead to the normalization of aggression and the dehumanization of opponents. This can contribute to a culture of incivility and intolerance, which can have long-term consequences for democratic institutions and the fabric of our society. Ultimately, more nuanced understanding of social status politics is necessary to mitigate its consequences and foster a more constructive and respectful dialogue. By recognizing the complex interplay between social status, identity, and politics, we can begin to address the root causes of hostile online discourse and work towards a more compassionate and inclusive online community. To break the cycle of dominance, recognize that online debates are often a status game rather than a genuine exchange of ideas. Be aware of your own motivations and try to separate your self-worth from online engagement. By doing so, you'll be more likely to engage in respectful and constructive dialogue, rather than using politics as a means to assert dominance over others.